Yo, 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 yo!
This is
Another episode of
Oh, excuse me. I'm drunk already. Drunk Context.
Drunk Context. Yeah. Welcome.
I'm Andrew,
I'm Matt.
and here we go.
And here we go. Thank you guys again.
Always appreciate it.
Yeah.
Please obviously, like and subscribe. And yeah, let's get into this.
Yeah, hopefully we got some good stuff for you guys today.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
So let's go with you.
It's pretty good.
Good weekend?
Had a pretty good weekend. We got me and you and your future fiance got to go dancing.
Yeah.
That was fun last night. I haven't been out in the club in a little bit, so that was...
I haven't been dancing in a while either. It was nice.
Yeah, DJ kind of sucked though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DJs don't know how to mix anymore. It's kind of a lost art of mixing when it comes to DJs. It's like they just kind of play what's hot now. They don't really mix
He
it
didn't even
properly,
play what was hot. He was like...
He just played random tracks. It was just...
He was like in 90s, and the last song, and this is the sad thing about out here, because this place closed at like 12 o'clock. And it's like, the hell?
We're
like,
in Ohio, so stuff closed early.
12 o'clock? The hell? I thought
We're used to New York, 4 or 5 in the morning, but...
I thought like parents came home, alright, shut the party down.
You're in New York. We'll be leaving the house at 11.
At 11, 12 o'clock.
It is what it is, though. It was a good time.
It was a good time. I also got to see Captain Marvel.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I got to see it. What did you think of it?
I thought it was a B movie.
B, huh?
Or no, not to say a B movie, like those old classic movies.
B rating?
B rating.
Gotcha.
B rating, yeah.
Okay.
Like a B rating.
You're rated a
B minus. B
okay.
minus.
B minus. Okay. Why is that? Why?
It didn't capture me narratively speaking. I didn't really come home thinking deep thoughts about the world and the reality that we're in. You know, I didn't feel, like Infinity War. We came out of that movie. You know, you got Malthusian complexes and shit about, like population and...
Well, I mean, a lot of the Marvel stories are deep-rooted into reality stuff we deal with in our lives. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so it didn't hit you in that way.
I didn't feel... I felt like I was there for a superhero movie. I felt like I was watching something from the 90s. But, I mean, I'm not, like I said, this is no spoilers. This is... non-spoilery video.
Yeah, no spoilers.
He didn't see it.
I didn't see it yet, so I don't really want to hear any spoilers. He's just giving me his opinion right now.
Excuse me. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Let it out.
Let that one. Ooh, that was a good one. Some pizza on that. Yeah, no, so my thing with that movie was, it was the political, like, I feel like the political assault, with the dudes who felt they were wrong and kind of pushed, was a little bit unnecessary for what this film was really selling. I didn't really walk in feeling like, oh my god, you're attacking men and my manhood, or oh, this movie's sexist, I can't watch this because I'm a guy. No, I did not feel like that, and I feel like a lot of the nonsense that came from...
You don't feel like it was you don't feel like it was
like, it wasn't really...
demeaning to men in any way.
Yeah, no. It wasn't an attack on men. Like, I didn't go there and feel like, oh, I can't root for this hero.
I mean, why would you feel attacked? I don't know. But anyway.
No, because, some people feel like it's just being... I think it's just being someone that's like, oh, so I can't see this movie? Like, no, I think it's really... That's how guys are attacking it. They're just using it as ways of, since we're all about... We're trying to be about equality... We're trying to have a better world. We're trying to teach our kids to be better. I feel like a lot of people attack liberal-minded, ideals. I'm going to keep this on the middle. But I feel like a lot of people, like, especially with feminists, they're supporting the movie and how feminists attack dudes, or how dudes attack feminists. That's what we're getting thrown into this movie.
That goes with the groups again.
Yeah. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So, like, for example, like, Black Panther last year came out around the same time. And as a matter of fact, came out Black History Month. This movie, ironically, comes out released on International Women's Day. So, that seems like it's really on the nose, Disney, that, you're kind of buying into that.
What did you rate Black Panther?
I give it a B minus. These
Okay,
two
thank you.
were on the same levels. Like even the.
Because I feel like Black Panther was overhyped a little bit.
It was overhyped. No, like there was points I came in. I felt like I was like getting ready when I saw Avatar. Like because I wanted to see Wakanda. Like, yeah. They pandered to my shit. You know, with black representation in film. That's how I felt.
I mean, having a black superhero is just it's awesome. I mean,
Yeah,
you don't get a lot of black superheroes.
We got Blade and some of the best black superhero or superhero films came from black guys. Like Blade 2, that whole freaking.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't even see Blade as a superhero.
Or Blade, yeah, you know, like so. I mean,
but he was the originator of the superhero movies, man. He was one of the originators.
Ryan Reynolds was in that just to show you to say that Ryan Reynolds jumped on that bandwagon and he knew he wanted to be in this genre. But yeah, we had we had a lot of great films, and but Black Panther was a place set in Africa, so it's because apparently Trump thinks some certain countries are shitholes, it's nice to kind of have a movie, whether it's fictional or not, of a beautiful Africa that's in its advanced civilization. It just literally knocks out the identity of what the world tries to paint on a negative light for black culture or our countries, for example, oh my god, I can't get the word out. Just the culture generally, like what we have, and what we bring out to the world. So it was bringing it in a realm that people who fantasize over fictions like Harry Potter and like the Star Wars universe. It's now you're getting this Star Wars universe for young black kids to get into. I mean, the lore is rich in the comics. It's the film. Now we have a film to get the larger people to see it, and it won 3 Oscars. I mean, it didn't win Best Picture. Because by far it wasn't Best Picture. There was about 3 films. I'm like, dude, come on now. Even dude's face.
You see,
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
Yeah, but go on.
I don't put too much power into those award Best Pictures and those kind of like the Oscars. I feel like sometimes they get it wrong a lot of the times.
Right.
And I feel like it's all a game, depending on who wins, and it's usually the same type of people who win and stuff. For example, Spike Lee winning this year.
I thought that was
for the first time is crazy to me.
Oh, for the first time
is crazy.
That actually blew my mind too. That was a fact.
That is crazy.
That was actually a fact when they mentioned that. I was just like,
and Black Klansman is no way close to Spike Lee one of Spike Lee's top movies.
Malcolm X.
Top Klansman was not. It was good. It wasn't that great to me. It was not. It was alright. It was okay.
There were parts of the film that in Black Klansman that I felt like, wait a minute, this is all the same gimmicks that he puts, but just on another type of story. And I feel like he had great cast.
He had way better movies than that though.
Yeah, but the what was that other movie I was gonna say? He had all of his tropes that was in the film. He's formulaic in how he tells his films, and for the fact that being the first one, and I mean, it came in a very deep. I remember watching that film. I saw that when it was in a packed theater. We're in Ohio.
But you see, I just feel like it's just too easy. I feel like now,
it
at the
is,
time when there is an outpour,
but
it's easy to give it to him now. Why didn't they give it to him when there wasn't this kind of backlash?
Because the world wasn't on it.
It's so annoying to me. To me, I feel like it's even him. I forgot the comment he made, but he made a comment after he won it, and even he saw there wasn't that much value in it. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. But you can have only your own bias for your own film, I think. But I just think that there wasn't the world wasn't connected with it. That everyone has a voice all at once.
But that's sad because art is supposed to be separated from what what everyone is speaking. Art is supposed to be independent. Art is supposed to be,
Yeah, but so for example,
but it just seems like, especially when it comes to movies and even music, it's kind of manipulated. A lot of these music awards, a lot of the guys win, there's a lot of background politics that happen for them to even get into the position. It's not even about the best music anymore. It's not even about the best movies anymore. It's all about the politics in the background. Who you know, who you're talking to, who knows the people, who makes the
I do agree with you, but I could say that that type of influence was more back in the like 2000s, the 90s, the 80s.
It's still going on.
Oh, it's still going on. But
Heavy.
But your shit is more out in the spotlight.
I mean, of course, it's going to be easier to catch now, but that doesn't mean it's not going on. They already have a system in place. That's my point. Like, especially with these awards, right? They already have such a, like, people follow these. They already have such a huge power behind them. Like, who's Oscar? Who the heck is Oscar? Do you know who Oscar is? I have no idea who Oscar is. But it's a big deal for everyone. Like, I don't know who Oscar is, but they have such a huge power behind them. Whatever they say, it automatically goes on top.
I mean, look at all the people in the room. That's millions and millions and millions of dollars in one big.
Yeah, but even them are already manipulated because of the power the name already has behind it.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Even if you're an up-and-coming actor, you have no other choice but to follow that, because once you got that choice, it's like automatically all that light comes on you. And it's kind of sad, because your art doesn't really speak for itself. It's all bias.
Well, another thing, too, is that it's very secret. I think they're pretty secretive of who the people that make the judgments are for the films. Mm-hmm. So, like, you know, obviously, I think, well, for main reasons, you don't want, you know, if you knew exactly who the judge was, he's more likely to be influenced versus people who don't know. But then again, how do we know that it's not widely influenced, that Steven Spielberg doesn't know every deciding person for the Oscar?
He probably does. That's what I'm saying. Once you get into certain circles or to certain areas, you kind of know the people that's in the background that do certain things.
Right.
And, like, people do favors for people, and there are things that happen in the background. There's a lot of politics and a lot of things that we, the common folk, don't really know about.
Right.
And it influences everything. Not saying that all of it that they decide is bad. Of course, some of it is great, some of it is good. But at the same time, I feel like the good ones get left behind because of all the politics.
Oh, yeah. But there's always going to be that politics in that. But, like, I in terms of what the
especially in the music industry.
But it's still easy. But we have levels now where, and people have more power and say because of like large influence. Yeah, because okay, think about this. Let's say our podcast goes off, and then what people say about us, if we were like PewDiePie levels of viewership, and you had that many people commenting, waking up in the morning and you check it in, you're reading it. It would have somewhat of an influence versus back then where you just threw content out there.
And having a bunch of people behind you, period, is influence. That's power.
Right.
Once you have a core people following you, whether it be millions of people, whatever, the higher the number, the more for influence you are, the more power you have, especially in this day and age. Especially when it comes to social media and all that. The more followers you have, the more all of that. If you have a social media page right now and you have, let's say, 10, 20, 30 million followers, you know how much power you have with that? You could go to almost any company and tell them, hey, this is what I have and this is what I could do, just because you have all these people following you.
Right.
It's a way different landscape than it used to be before. You know what I mean? It put the power in the people, pretty much. You know, it's up to you to control it. Because back in the day, for you to get into a spotlight, you had to go to a movie studio. You had to, remember when we were growing up in New York and we used to pass by those studios in Manhattan? And we used to joke around and be like, yo, let's go in there and give a picture of a show.
NBC?
Yeah, we used to say that shit all the time.
We went to Rockefeller Center and we were just like, let's just like come up with some random pitch and just walk in. And, like, we're gonna like somehow barge into the CEO.
Yeah.
Whoever.
But people did this though. That's how they did it back in the day. That's how they made their contacts. But now it's way easier. You can kind of just Facebook, whatever, and just put it out there, and it will catch certain eyes. You could send it directly to someone famous, and they will get it. You could DM them. You could do whatever. Like, it's nuts. The landscape is way different.
It's everyone has. We're literally in the same room as via digital net with celebrities. Like, you can say, if you really think of a comment and you get at the right time where they can see that as like your top comment. Like, for example, Facebook does it really well with top comments, or YouTube does it really well with highlighted comments. People like the comments and it goes up. Eventually, whoever's running that YouTube is going to see that. So that you can directly have more effects with someone in this hour than people realize. Like with celebrities, political figures, in this hour, if you say the right thing at the right time, with enough following and subjects to follow it, you can reach.
And even catch them on the right day, right? If you DM a celebrity on the right day and they see your stuff, you will end up talking to them again, put you in the right position. It's a crazy landscape right now. But with that being
or
said,
they look at you like you're crazy, like fuck out of here.
With that being said, a wise man once said, "With great power comes
great responsibility."
Exactly. Yeah. So in this landscape, there's a lot of craziness happening. There's a lot of people who's using it for.
Or great responsibility comes crippling debt.
That's yeah.
I can't support all this.
Well,
it's tearing me apart.
It gets to people too, like a lot for some YouTubers and stuff. For example, like a lot of them get so famous to the point that they break down. It gets really intense, especially have people commenting to you and hitting to you with like negative comments all the time. Like that stuff gets to people sometimes.
How could it not?
Yeah,
that shit would get to me. Be nice to me in the comments. Be nice.
Yeah.
But
people are gonna disagree. People are gonna disagree.
Yeah, no.
That's all you really. I feel like that's all you really have to understand within yourself is that it's impossible for you to please everyone. It's impossible.
Right. No,
there are gonna be people who are gonna feel differently, and some of those people are loud with their voices.
Yeah.
But
and you're gonna be like, "What the fuck, man?"
Listen to the ones who support you. Listen to the ones who agree with you, because they're not gonna agree. You're not gonna help anyone. You're just not.
I just think that getting your point across to people that disagree with you, or at least not even okay.
But sometimes people disagree just to disagree,
right?
Yeah.
But as long as the point is heard, there's a certain level of maybe even if you won't hear it, it's been heard. The argument's in your head. And if other people who support my argument keep throwing it at you, when it's overwhelming, it's going to come to a point where you're going to stop and say, you know what?
Well, that's why you have to.
That I might have a consideration to their argument.
That's why you got to have a good supporting team, like your followers, right? If you have a good following team, when the people are online badgering you, your team will defend you. Right. And those are the good teams. Like famous people like Beyonce has a team like that. If anyone says anything bad about Beyonce, Nicki Minaj, everyone say anything bad about Nicki Minaj, people will badger them and attack them. Right. Like if you have a certain kind of followers, they would actually defend you. But it all depends on what field you're in and how famous you are, and
Well, in that same note, then
how much you're liked.
Even when you're liked, though, you can also risk dividing. Your fan base too. That's another thing that we don't see that's happening.
Well, Eminem kind of did that when he went after Trump.
Yeah, absolutely. You suddenly you might have it all. You might be bolstering this amazing foundation of fans. Say one thing, and especially today's. This is why I think a lot more celebrities are keeping their mouth shut.
Well, everyone's being what's the term?
Because
PC.
Monitored. Like politically correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
everyone's literally taking the time, walking in toes. Don't want to say the wrong thing. Don't want to offend anyone. Let's
be good. Be good to each other, but at the same time, beat each other out in the competition. Both these.
Yeah,
ideas.
but you have to understand. Like, I don't know everything. Mm-hmm. I do not know everything. Mm-hmm. I know as much as I know, and I'm learning every day. So if sometime I say something and it's wrong, and someone corrects me, fine, I was wrong. But I don't know everything, so you can't be mad at me for not knowing.
No one knows everything.
No one knows everything, so you can't.
This is why
we're just speaking our opinion. We're just being us.
But even when, like I said, even with that opinion, that's why you kind of have to have an objection to that opinion, like a different idea. Even though it's to me, I think that's emotional growth. To hear someone, attest to you, like let's say I'm like your father. Father household, but your son may say something to you at one point in your lifetime that's going to be like, no, and you're going to totally disagree with it, but in reality, it's you might be the one that might be in the wrong. It's a possibility, but but because we have this authoritarian idea that what certain facts said by certain people has to be right, and that's what I feel is wrong, and that's what we've been in terms of that kind of agenda. But people are always going to disagree. There's always going to be
and I also feel like people question things, research things.
Yeah, well, that's
like, don't take even your doctor, right? Don't take exactly what your doctor say to heart. Like, question him. You know, like
right.
Your teacher, question them. Your professor, question them. Question everyone, because you can't just listen to everyone and think that's the end of it. Because they're in certain position, especially. You know what I mean? Like, people can tend to be intimidated by people who are in certain positions. But you have to realize those people also don't know everything.
Right, and this is why I think it starts, this is where it kind of comes right back home to how we teach our kids. Or like, well, at least when I get my kid, if my kid tells me something that he wholeheartedly believes in, and I'm in like total disagreement, we have to, I think that the difference has to change is not just like, no, you need to do what I say. Some points, yes. But when you're seeing conversation, when they strike up conversations that could be world changing to their mindset, stuff like if a kid comes to me and says, Dad, I think I'm gay, what do I do? At first, instead of being like, oh no, fuck out of here, you know, we gotta sit down and I'm gonna be like, what makes you feel that way? Don't, you know, like, so that's how I feel like we get smarter kids, and that can take objections so that when they learn, when they are saying shit that they're wrong about, and someone comes up with an objection, that they can absolutely stop and learn to maybe consider it before they withdraw. That's where I feel like we in the society is, if we're in this type of society today, that we have to arm our children.
Let's face it. Our kids usually end up being smarter than we are.
Yes.
Let's just face that, right? People just need to realize that. So when your kid will come to you with something, especially if you feel you're right, why not research it with them? Be like, okay, because instead of just them listening to you, you both could figure it out together and look and research it together.
Right.
You know, I feel like it makes it also teaches your kid to, hey, don't just take one person's words for it. You know?
Yes, that's the idea.
Because that's what I would do. I'd be like, hey, okay, you don't have to take my word for it. This is what I believe, but you don't have to take my word for it. Let's go look it up. Right. You know, we have the technology everywhere. Right. You know, let's just look it up
and be able to lose gracefully.
Well, yes, of course. It's hard for parents. Of course.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. If your child comes up to you and proves you wrong on something that might be,
because a parent feel like they're supposed to be the teacher, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, a teacher feel like it's supposed to be the one that knows everything, but you also have to be a teacher. A good teacher is also have to be willing to learn from his student.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
You know, like now we're it feels like we're coming into some kung fu kind of shit. Like kung fu philosophy.
Word.
But I just think more so now, those ideologies that we thought was very silly in kung fu movies, or not silly, but, you know, sage, but not applicable, is absolutely more applicable in terms of teaching it to your kids. Not for us, because it's too late for us. Like, we already have our biases, lock, stock, and barrel. Some of us were taught with this knowledge, and I feel like have gone on to become great things and great leaders and hopefully positive influences on the world, and that'll come out in more masses. Therefore, people can kind of learn to shut down. So you're always going to get it. Not everyone's going to be raised perfectly, but for it to spread. And kids are infectious too. Like they learn from each other.
Extremely, yeah. You know, extremely.
Yeah.
Kids are like a virus, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
they come home saying catchphrases that you're like, what?
Seriously? It's nuts.
Like I think
a bunch of kids come together, it's over. Like they learn so many things.
Sad but true. I heard like trap house. Like when I heard about trap music and trap houses, I was like, like my niece was the one that was telling me about that. I learned it from my niece. I was like, wait. Are you trap houses?
On it quick, right?
I was like, oh, what? Your friend is there? Where? And I'm like, okay.
Your friend is in the trap. That's funny. Urban Dictionary. You're funny.
And I had to come out like, all right, we need to get her out of here.
Trap house, you say?
Yeah. It's funny.
That's
like
crazy.
But in reality, it's a lot of it comes from the kids. Like, they're going to come out, especially coming from what other kids see.
No, they're on it. They're the one that created new slang. They're the one that, they're the one that push things forward when it comes to music, when it comes to art. They're the ones that push this thing forward.
Right.
The kids are very extremely important. People forgive them a lot, unfortunately. But they're the ones who push things forward, man.
But here's the thing.
They're the leaders.
You know, the idea is also that we want to pass on our ideologies, right? But not everyone in the world's ideology that's being passed on these kids are great and sound. I mean, Trump's kid. I don't really want to, like, Trump's 2 kids. They're already out there. They're already kind of come. I'm not trying to buy it, but in my opinion, they come off as very kind of like.
Granted, I gotta be fair. I don't really know what their kids are like.
I don't know, but like the ones that are on TV, and how they put they're trying. I feel like they're trying to be in the middle, and I think they're going to be great leaders in the future. If they get past all the shit that they see that their dad's doing.
There is a lot.
You know, but that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, the influences like that. You're not always gonna have.
No, I feel like all you could do is your part, bro. Like, we're all like the body's made up of many cells and all that, right? That's what to me the universe is. We're all part of that, and all we could do is do our part. You know, the heart could only do what the heart could do. Mm-hmm. The liver could only do what the liver could do. You know what I mean? We could only do our part. Like, teach our kids, teach our kids, be that example for our kids, teach them. Example. I feel like that's the main priority. People try to preach to their kids too much instead of living the life. Kids learn from what you do, not so much what you say.
Right.
You know what I mean? They learn more from your actions more than your words. And people like to speak to their kids and say, oh, they'll turn out fine. But when they're doing crazy things, the kids are seeing that, and that's why the kids pick up the same behaviors of the parents,
right?
Because of the way they act. People need to stop preaching to their kids and try to be a leader in their actions.
That's the word you said. Stop preaching. Like when it's preaching, it's just like all, like my word is.
Because you were a kid when your parents preached to you, you didn't really want to hear that shit. That shit didn't really sink in like that,
right? I think that's the reason why I don't feel there's a particular level of rebellion. I think I think that whole part of raising your kids can be completely avoided, of like having them try to rebel. People say, "Oh no, that's just a natural reaction." So because we come from very traditional lifestyles, and we're only now breaking out of this realm of heavy religion. Like, religion was taught this is all territorial, by the way. Because there are many different cultures that's out there that we haven't even seen in the world that are so different from ours, that is so far removed that when you try, you can't even grasp it. Yeah. And like I said, like that, for example, just going way off base, but just off the topic for a second, but like just the difference in cultures, like you got like the when you had a guy who was the church, what's like a pilgrim or on trying to bring God to this little island of.
I mean, there's still a lot of people that do that kind of work. Try to bring.
Missionaries.
Yeah, missionaries.
Yeah. So, he was on a mission to spread the word of God, and you're just like, that's the preaching stuff. That's the idea. That's the same ideology of how war was brought to. Wars have been fought.
I feel like they go in there with a good intention. I feel like they go in there with a pure heart, because in their mind, right, like from their perception, they're bringing good to these people.
Yeah, they think that these people are all in their own ways, and this isn't short. They feel like, oh no, they're all going to hell. But it's like, how why are they going to hell? Why are they being punished? Because they didn't know, they weren't.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation.
Right? That's what I'm saying. I mean, and we're gonna say that for an episode. We're definitely gonna come back to that, and we're gonna put a lot of time on that. But just the idea of that word preach, and we put a lot of power in commandment, and a lot of people are gonna disagree with me, and that's fine. And I'm not even a father yet. I
feel like a lot of people like the position of power too, like. Having a kid puts you in a position of power.
Yeah.
That's why some people abuse their kid, and some people, because they have their own, it makes them feel good being in that position of power. That's why some people are so controlling and with their kids and all that. But it's a thin line, man. You have to know, like, no one's perfect at it, man. That's just my idea. No one's perfect at taking care of a kid. No one's perfect at bringing up a perfect human being. Mm-hmm. There's no one who's had a perfect go at it.
Right.
But I feel like a lot of people, personal issues, just falls on their kid, you know, without them wanting it to or not. It's just inevitable. It's your child. They spend 24/7 with you. They're part of you. They're just gonna get almost every part of you. That's why I said, instead of preaching to them, try to change your ways, because your ways is showing way more.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because this person spent 24/7 with you. They see every part of you, so they know you. They're from you. You know. So by you just preaching to them every once in a while, or preaching to them every day, it's not gonna get in. The actions you do every day, the things they see you do when you're walking around the house, and the things they see those are the things that really seep into their mind. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why we need to change the way we do things to show them a good influence.
I think honestly, it shouldn't even be that hard. It's really just, I think, more a good.
Well, a lot of us are selfish. You know, a lot of us still want to party. A lot of us still want to do the things we want to do.
Hello.
And not. I mean, you can. You can. You could still do what you can do and be responsible in having a kid. You just need to not do it every day, or not, like, you know, be responsible.
Right.
You know, we're adults. We should be able to do the things that we want to do, but be responsible at it. Make the right decisions. You know, like, make sure there is a time for this and there's a time for that. Not every time should be just for this. You know. People get caught up. People are spoiled.
I feel like it's a personal message.
No.
Message?
No, it's everyone. A lot of people don't want to have kids because of selfish reasons. Think about it. A lot of people say they don't want to have kids because, oh man, that means I can't do this, I can't do that. Damn, that means I can't live my... That's all selfish reasons. It's literally for some... There are people who think kids are a parasite to their lives. You know what I mean? There are people out there with that mindset. You know what I mean? A lot of people have a negative mindset when it comes to kids. And it's even growing and growing and growing. It's nuts.
I think it's just because the more you know, the more knowledge, and there's just like such a big world. Like
people are just spoiled and they want no responsibility. That's my opinion on it. People are spoiled and don't want no responsibility. They just want to be able to have as much sex as they want, drink as much as they want, do whatever they want without any responsibility or anything. That's pretty much what people want. That's it.
I want a kid and have that.
Right.
Just...
I mean, there is probably a circle of people out there that have that kind of dynamic going. You don't know. I mean,
you gotta
find what works for you.
I am absolutely certain.
You gotta find what works for you, man. But
no.
I know kids scare people though a lot.
Yeah, no, but I mean, then you make the kids a part of the things that you want to do.
It's a huge responsibility.
Okay, like I said, I mean, for me, I think the biggest responsibility is make sure I have someone to take care of my kid while I go to work. If I could, I think you should. Even at my gig, I think I would be able to bring my kid to work every day if I had to take care of him and do my job.
Yeah. I just feel like you have to change your mindset, right? You have to when you were single, or when you and your partner didn't have a kid, you were able to do all these things. But you could do different things with a kid that could still be fun. You just have to change your mindset. Everything, you have to evolve. Life doesn't always have to be the same forever. Like, you don't have to be, when you're 21, drinking every day, partying every weekend, until you're 51. You know what I mean? Like, you have to eventually change it up. Unless you want that. That's crazy.
You can keep it all in small segments, but every day.
Like, how so?
You drink after work, you drink responsibly. You drink from 7 to 6. Hell, this is why the show's cultural context. We're really getting into the nuts of it. You drink from 7, then you have your kid. Well, I don't know how the situation would be. Let's say if we're playing traditional.
Well, it's harder if you have a traditional family, right? Like you, your wife, and your children. If you have a traditional, how do you do all those things while balancing work and all that? It's not easy. It's a huge responsibility.
I think the parties just get smaller, and then when I say smaller, it's just little dinner sessions in the evening.
See, what confuses me is this, right? Why people are willing to discipline themselves to do things like yoga, or do things like certain diets, or do things like that, but they can't discipline themselves when it comes to having a kid. It's the weirdest thing to me.
Yeah, I can't understand. I mean, that's a huge point of your life.
Because when people make that decision to say, "Oh, I want to be healthier, I want to do things," right? I understand a kid is more permanent.
Yeah.
You could change your diet and say, "I don't want to do it anymore," or you could a kid is definitely more permanent. But still, a lot of people change their lives based on doing more yoga, or changing their diet to become more healthy, and just just to discipline themselves in a way to do those kind of things.
Right.
Why they can't do the same thing when it comes to a child? Discipline yourself in a way that you can handle this kid, which means not partying as much anymore and all that. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with the yoga and eating healthy and having a healthier lifestyle.
Right.
You can't do those things anymore because you discipline yourself to live a different lifestyle. Why can't people just do that?
Because they did not, like I said, it's a culture shock to their system. Unless it was planned for. I mean, some people, I think the people who plan for their kids, they're like, you know what, this is going to be our lifestyle. This is going to change.
You have to want it. Having to want it makes a big difference.
Right.
I'm not going to lie. Having to want it makes a big difference.
But biologically, we all want it, via us wanting to have sex all the time.
Well, yeah. We want the sensation.
That's also the chemical of the
we
human
want
nature.
the sensation. We don't want the aftermath. The aftermath is different.
It's the body says 100% otherwise. The body is literally forcing you to.
No, it is, but people don't listen to their body though. Unfortunately, people don't listen to a lot of things.
It's true.
People drink every night and throw up.
Yeah,
that's literally your body saying, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah, I had that happen. This has never happened to me. Well, it hasn't never, but it hasn't happened to me in a long time. And this was yesterday when I went to work. Was drinking in the night before, and I didn't feel like I drank that much, more than usual, but I did go for a stronger shot. And I remember just going home, and I slept okay. When I woke up, it was just like, oh man, this is bad. Like I feel I'm gonna fucking puke.
Oh man.
Like so, but I'm 32. I'm 32, and I know how to handle this. And most people want to call out of work, but I'm not like, no, I gotta go to work. I have some big stuff I gotta do today. So I went in the bathroom and said, all right, fuck it, we're gonna do this. Do the old finger down the throat shit. Get as much as you can. Shake a little water off, and then just try to go out. Just go, and it's the worst feeling because it's just like you're just wide.
It's crippling, yeah.
It's like I just need, because in reality your body says you need a rest.
Yeah.
You can't be doing any of this the way you feel. Going out, but for all the years I've been doing it, I'm used to it. Like I know in the event that I am gonna get sick, if I had to do something, I won't be crippled. I'll be crawling, looking like fucking Leonardo DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street on killing Quaaludes and shit. Like dragging myself off on the fucking floor.
Well, you know what I've noticed as I've gotten older? That I have to limit my drinks, bro.
I'm realizing that too.
Because I'm going to throw up. I already know myself. I'm going to throw up. So literally as the night goes on, I have to limit my drinks. And then just stop at a certain point. Because I know myself. I can't deal with this throwing. I hate it. I really hate it.
It's the worst.
I can't deal with it. I enjoy having a drink or two, but I can't deal with it. I'm not going to get drunk like that. I just can't. I can't handle it.
Oh, man.
I can't handle it.
You can't handle it. Well, this is drunk context, though.
You
got to do it.
Oh my god. I hate throwing up.
I accept it.
And not every time I get drunk I'm throwing up, of course. But I just don't I hate throwing up. I hate the feeling.
I don't think anyone likes throw. I don't think anyone's like, oh,
feeling in the world. Like, why would you do that to yourself? And that's exactly what I say to myself every time. And I'm like, okay, I need to slow it down. And like, I have been slowing it down. Like,
yeah, but there's two states of mind, and you don't think that you're gonna get there. Like, I know. Like, if I mix drinks,
well, that's why you have to learn yourself. You have to learn your body. You have to, Some people don't. Some people, yeah, that's important.
Eat a shit ton, like a heavy burger or like super carbs before I drink. If I know I'm gonna be drinking, that's gonna be like a party, and I want to follow up. I eat like a burger, nothing cheesy or oily that's gonna fuck with my stomach later. Just solid like breads and shit like that, like bagels and cream cheese. Very minimal of shit. Just things that I know my body's gonna absorb, and then when I start getting fucked up, is when I'm gonna start being like, yeah, that's enough. Because if it's all that alcohol's getting absorbed, I'm just enjoying a good buzz. I'm keeping steady. Versus, oh shit, I'm swerving.
I also want to pass the nice point too. I hate passing the nice point. Because there's a certain point where you're really nice and it just feels really good. But then you have another drink or something and it goes past that point.
Oh, yeah. And you're just like, ah, shit.
Yeah, what did I do?
I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
And then you're even more trouble when people are offering more drinks. And you're like, you're still strong with all this stuff, but
Yeah.
When you get that, yeah.
You gotta man up, man. I gotta take it.
No, the first time, I always know when I'm getting too fucked up is when you have that shot and you're like, your body's like literally like trying to push.
It's trying to get rid of it. Yeah.
It's like, no, bro, do not put. That is the first sign that you should know when you should not be drinking.
It's so interesting too that you always manage not to throw up at the bar. You literally always make it. You threw up at the bar before?
This is
like inside of the bar,
in the bar,
really?
At the bar.
No.
So Danny and Garrett, if you're watching this, this happened with them. The night started just drinking Jack and Coke. So like Dan worked at his bar in the city. It was like Highline.
Highline days. Oh
yeah.
Man, I remember.
Great fucking New York.
You threw up at
No, not Highline. No.
Okay.
No, definitely. No, not Suki was there. No, I'm sorry. I'm saying names, but
that would have been embarrassing.
No, there was I was drinking Jack and Coke at Highline. At Highline. I don't say Highland Tavern. Then we went, since he gets off work, and we go see Garrett in his bar. And we go to Garrett's bar, and so then he's getting me Jack and Cokes. So then we're like, all right, cool. And so he gets off work, and that's when I'm like, fucked, but I'm good enough to drive, which is never do this. But this is just stupid me.
Drink responsibly.
Drink responsibly, yeah. Like, I'm going to Uber after this. Maybe. No, I'm Uber. No, what happened was after he gets off, he says, let's go to another bar in Brooklyn. And so I offer to go with my Jack and Coke. You know, I'm just like, stick with the same drink. That's the safest thing you do. You don't mix.
Even though you're having a bottle of Jack and Coke.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but it's a mix. It's controlled. It's in portions and spaced out with water and shit. Like, Danny's feeding me water. So I'm like, hydrated, good. Garrett, hydrated me, good. We go to the last bar in Brooklyn. So we leave the final city, we get to Brooklyn. We go to the bar. We sit, and the bartender there offers us Jameson. Now, this is the very first time I've ever had Jameson. Like, so, yeah. So he's like, dude, here. And I'm like, no, I don't want this. I was like, I don't want. I'm saying in my mind, trying to say out. He's like, dude, but when a bartender gives you a drink,
gives you a shot.
You gotta take it. And I'm like, all right.
At least it's whiskey.
Yeah, so I have the shot. They immediately get that regurg. It's like, no, like fighting it and then knocking it back. And it's strong. And I'm like, fuck. So I'm going to go to the bathroom really quick. So I went to the bathroom. I was like, giving myself the talk in the mirror. All right, dude, we got this. Like, oh, okay, come on, we got this. And then you're like, oh shit, I feel like that wooziness, like that.
No.
But you're just like, no.
You know it's bad then.
It's like, nah, we got this. I walk back to the bar. We sit down and it's quiet. I'm not drinking. I'm just there, quiet, halfway in their conversation.
Trying to control it.
Yeah. Beautiful girl sits down right to the right side of me. And I could tell she was interested because she saw me and so like she had two other friends. I was talking to them and she saw me, so she sits down next to me. And I'm like, and I'm okay. I'm talking. I'm probably slurring like crazy, but in my mind's eye, it was going very nicely until they're closing up and Garrett buys another round of fucking Jameson.
Oh man!
And at this point, I wanted this to be like, nah, like.
Why didn't you say no?
It's the fucking principle of bartenders bullshit, and you're caught up, and I don't want to look like a little bitch in front of this new lady. Otherwise I would have said no. The lady came in, influenced everything, and was just like, all right, fuck it, and she's doing one too. So, cheers. Knock the shot back. Immediately feel it, like, okay, all right, this is danger. This is complete fucking danger. And I remember I was just like, okay, I can do this. I backed up. Whoa! It was so fucking bad. Like, and it took every ounce of strength in me. Like, my knees buckled. And at that point, I was just like, oh shit. And then the girl's just like, oh, wow, yeah, I think your friend is sick. She was actually really nice about that. Like, she was like, are you okay? And I'm just like, no. It was just like bad, and it just would not stop. It to the point it was just like bile.
That's the worst ones too. And it can't stop.
No, and it's just like, and I'm just like, I'm trying to hold this. I'm trying to hold this guy, and then I just lose all motor functions. I cannot talk. I'm just like, and then and I just remember, and then the night just becomes flashes at that point, like brief moments of waking up, passing out, and then just waking up, and then like, I gotta go again. And I'm in my car. They took me home. Long story short, but since that point, and I'm always hesitant with Jameson because of that.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like not in the beginning.
That's me on Patron.
Patron? Oh yeah, Patron too. I have stories with that. But
I don't know.
More so with vodka. I don't like. Me and vodka does. I don't say. I think that's one of the more easier drinks.
I like Grey Goose though.
Grey Goose is very good. But I'm just very careful with vodkas because that has not agreed with me. Unless, but mainly because I think my problem is just mixing. I think I mix a lot. So, but anyway. So yeah, we got into a lot of topics.
That was drunk context.
This is exactly drunk context.
Word.
I think we should always end it like that. Yeah. We should always just end this with a story.
We're
gonna do that. All right, guys.